Welcome to my N-Gauge layout Warphampton. Warphampton is a completely fictional layout set sometime in the mid-1980s, which reflects my fond memories of watching trains go by on Reading or Twyford stations, or perhaps stood on the bridge over the main lines at Waltham St Lawrence. The layout design was inspired by a layout called Maybury, built by David Gottlieb, which was featured as Layout of the Month in Railway Model in July 1989. It was one of my favourite layouts back then, and I remember reading the article time and time again. To me it was the perfect blend of a mainline station, but with plenty of scenic scope and operational interest. I rediscovered this copy of the magazine when clearing out the box of my old train stuff from my dad's loft about 10 years ago, and it finally persuaded me to get back into the hobby again. Subject to space and therefore design constraints, I attempted something similar. So David, thank you for the inspiration. So as you can see, the design of Warphampton is essentially 4 continuous loops through a mainline station served by a double-decked fiddle yard, each with 8 roads. To add operational interest, there are 4 bay platforms and a motive power depot, although in hindsight this track design probably lacks realism and is constrained by space. My original vision was to run loco-hauled trains into the bays, which would then be serviced for the return journey by fresh locos from the MPD. However, in reality I don't have the loco stock for that sort of operation, so now they're used for DMU services and the MPD has become more of a cameo scene. Overall though, it provides plenty of interest, whether just letting trains run around or allowing them to run backwards and forwards from the yards. As I was constrained by space but wanted plenty of storage, I decided to adopt 2 fiddle yards, one above the other. I designed it so the scenic side sat in the middle of the 2 heights, so 2 loops rise and 2 loops fall. However, in practice I've probably found the gradients are just a little too steep. A lesson there in making sure you do plenty of testing with both gradients, curves and full-length trains tested together, not in isolation. Over time I've improved things with the ability to flip up the upper yard, better connections between the tracks, and adding cheap reversing cameras and marker posts to the bottom yard to improve visibility. So now I'm pretty satisfied it works well enough. Whilst I kept my old Farish stock from my youth, I decided to sell all of that and invest in more up-to-date DCC ready stock, given the control benefits that technology offers. I've slowly been adding to that over the years, mainly Farish, but a few Dapo locos thrown in as well. Beyond DCC train control, the remaining point control is fairly standard electronics, although I did decide to add in some extra cheap micro switches to throw the polarity on the points, really just to help improve running. In total it's taken me about 10 years to build Warphampton since returning to the hobby. It's been a pretty slow and steady build in between other interests and family life, but a really enjoyable and satisfying one. It's now reached a point where I'm really happy with the look and feel and wanted to share it with a wider audience. So let's take a closer look at the layout and watching trains go by. So thank you for watching my layout Warphampton. I hope you've enjoyed the last few minutes. I've certainly enjoyed building this over the last 10 years. I hope you enjoy the rest of the exhibition.